Hey everybody, my name is Michael McDowell. Great to be with you. Let's talk chapter 3, the focus on dispositional habits. Dispositional habits are correlated to learning surface deep and transfer. So my ability to develop metacognition doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to learn fractions, but it certainly helps me in developing the habits to become a better learner, to persevere, to know where I am in my learning, to be able to work with others effectively that may have different opinions than mine. And it helps me with refining my own practices when I might be by myself. So these four habits, this idea of engaging in my own metacognition, which has one of the highest effect sizes we've seen across multiple studies, multiple research studies in the last 2 decades. The idea of being able to navigate challenge to separate my ideas from my identity, this idea of being able to work with others and to consolidate learning, all enable students to become their own learners, to really develop the building blocks of being agents of their own learning over time. And that's all, it's all in the habit, right? These aren't events, these are routines. These are small doable things that we want to embed in the classroom. We don't want to say, oh, Fridays are dispositional days, but really saying these are things that we're trying to help students cultivate over time. And we got to infuse that in small doable ways every single day so that the students can get 1% better. And we have to view this as a long-term game. This is a game that takes years and years to develop. You're not going to get students to be, fully metacognitive by kindergarten, but you can certainly get them on their way. So the reflective questions are really looking at, to what extent are students engaging in that work now? Where are students doing this without you even prompting? When you do engage with them on that particular work, what evidence do you use to capture that particular work? Where are the systems that you've currently put into place around students engaging in their dispositional work? And then viewing and then really looking at how would you infuse these into your practices in small and doable ways. And that's really what the conversation should be about in those reflective questions. I always think of things like a gap analysis. Ideally, where do we want to be with our students? Where are they now? What are the next steps that we can take? And that's really where those next steps come in. Just like we looked at in chapter 2, my suggestion is to use that need it, see it, start it, and show it process. There's specific questions that I've laid out within the next steps for you to consider. Again, I would go back to that what, so what, now what protocol. And at the end, once you've done all of this work, my strongest suggestion is to go back through those habit checkpoints like, is it small and doable? Can you sustain it? Can you stack it? Because at the end of the day, it has to be something you can action. This can't just be a plan that you build over time. And before you leave the meeting today, if you decide to do those next steps, have everyone go around and say, who does what by when, and make sure people feel they feel supported, they feel like it's doable, and that there is a layer of positive accountability that we're all going to go and give this a go for a few weeks to see if this is something that we could then build into our systems over time. There you go. Have fun in that conversation. I think the dispositional work is super cool and needed in our classrooms. We just need to make sure they're not events, but that they're small routines over time. We don't have to make it a big thing. It's just, we're going to do this. We're going to do this routine. We're going to do this routine. And you just do it over and over and over, and students start to build the habits of becoming more powerful learners over time. All right. Thanks, everybody.